Hi guys, interesting topic here. I think I was looking on my Facebook posts, and I came across something about the Georgia Guidestones. And as you probably know, um, they were demolished. Someone either planted a bomb, or it got struck by lightning, or something like that, and then the next day they were completely taken down. But this post was to do with the this time capsule that they put. Um, at the time when the stones were erected in the 1980s. And I thought, what is this? Is this genuine, or is it a load of bullshit? Is it a distraction or something like that? But the more I looked into it, the more interesting I got. I actually didn't intend to make a video on it, but I just kind of started researching the items that are in there, and I think it got interesting. So let me share it with you. There were four things in this time capsule, and one of them was a Peterbilt emblem, a 1979 Playboy magazine, a single track of Saturday Night Fever, and a bag containing 1,734 pills, and the pills were, and I probably can't pronounce it because I'm bad with things like this. Quaalude pills. It's spelt Quallude. So that's what was in there, and I'm thinking, okay, what's this about? And first off, the made notes as usual. First off, the Peterbilt emblem. I believe this is a company that makes trucks, and they have made an electric truck, with zero emissions, right? But I think they did this in around 2018, so it's recent. But when I typed in Peterbilt, that's the first thing that come up, that their electric truck, and there's zero emissions, and I'm thinking kind of very green, very global warming kind of friendly, right? Because the whole global warming thing, reducing carbon, reducing emissions, reducing people, population, the future, that kind of thing. Greta Thunberg, another way for population reduction, and that was possibly, a failure, and so they're trying other methods, needlecraft, etc. That's what come to mind when I saw that. There was another one. Let's have a look. Yeah, let's have a look at the Playboy magazine. So a 1979 Playboy magazine. On the title, on the cover of the magazine, you had a Burt Reynolds interview, 1979 interview. I'm thinking, and then on the cover he's dressed in black tie, black everything, right, with a little kind of white kind of handkerchief, and he's with this kind of sexy model. So I'm thinking, what's that about? So I look, so it's so on the cover it's promoting one of his 1979 interviews. So I watched this interview. I'm getting into this now, and he comes in and he's dressed in black, kind of like he is on the cover in his 1979 interview. And before he comes on, the guy that's interviewing him says, by the way, look out for his latest movie, Starting Over. I'm trying to, maybe I'm grabbing that too much and kind of, getting overexcited, but movie Starting Over, starting over civilization, the human race, and he's dressed in black, so like people dress in black for funerals. So, connecting to the Guidestones, population reduction, culling, that kind of thing. That's where I was kind of going in my head. And as I watched the interview, it was a bit boring. But he says that in one of the films in his movies he did a prison scene, and he mentions, I think, the president. He met the president there or something like that. But it was in Georgia. 100% it was in Georgia, and he says Georgia is one of the best states. So Georgia is mentioned in that 1979 interview. So there's some connections there. Let's look at. Oh yeah, we have a mention. This is in the Playboy magazine as well. 1979 non-fiction novel, The Execution Song by Norman Mailer. So I looked that up. Yeah, and there's this character, Gary Gilmore. That's right, Gary Gilmore, Life in Crime. And I found out that Gary Gilmore was an American criminal who gained fame for demanding his own murder. Demanding his own death penalty. Gained fame for demanding the implementation of his own death sentence for 2 murders he admitted to. So prior to that, I think they perhaps banned the death penalty in America, but he actually admitted and demanded that he be sentenced to death. That was what made it unique. So Gary Gilmore and this 1979 non-fictional novel about him, The Executioner's Song, was mentioned, and I find that interesting that he demanded his own death, and maybe this will make more sense as I go along. So we have that. Still talking about the cover of the Playboy magazine. All right, let's continue with the Playboy magazine while I'm here. All of the titles and the tidbits on the Playboy magazine. You have the model on the Playboy magazine was one of the 1979 Playmates of the Year, and her name was Cynthia Wood. And I looked up Cynthia Wood, 79 Playboy, and yeah, she was Playmate of the Year, and immediately Apocalypse Now came up, which was in 1979. So 1979 is this date they seem to be using, and I thought Apocalypse is quite relevant to Georgia Guidestone, population reduction, big changes within human society and where we're going. Just looked up kind of Apocalypse. I've seen the movie a few years back. It's a powerful movie. But I looked up Apocalypse Now, the movie, and looked up the meaning within the movie. And it's roughly like a metaphor for the journey into the self, and shows the self in the face of war and darkness. And then the characters end up being separated from reality within the film, and each experiences his own mental breakdown. So that was interesting. So you have the apocalypse element here, possibly. Still connecting to the Playboy magazine. Because I believe that I'm sure it was John Travolta's Saturday Night Fever was mentioned on the Playboy magazine, and of course you have the cassette tape, right? Actually, I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to talk about the pills. Before I talk about the Saturday Night Fever, the pills were that they found were a central nervous system depressant, that acts as a hypnotic and a sedative, and it was used for people suffering from insomnia and anxiety. There's a slang word for them. The real word for them. I'm so bad at pronouncing things. Methaqualone. And then the other one is qualludride, or I'll probably pronounce it wrong, spelled Quallude, and then you have the other one, methaqualone. You can look it up anyway. But the slang word for these is disco biscuits, and then I'm thinking disco biscuits, Saturday Night Fever. There's a connection there probably. If they used for recreational use on people that got high off them, found that they increased their sexual inhibitions and kind of make the night more pleasant, and they can enjoy the music more and everything like that. So yeah, that really connects with Saturday Night Fever. And then looked up Saturday Night Fever a bit, and in the movie, the character John Travolta, he talks about crossing a bridge and escaping and never coming back. And if you've seen the film, I saw it once years ago, and it's just blurry in my mind. But I do remember the bridge scene, and the character used to like to kind of scare himself by kind of bending over the bridge and kind of pretending he's falling, he's going to jump. And you remember there's a scene in there when they're all high. They come out of the disco and they're all drunk or high. And they're probably high on the disco biscuits, right? And then they're walking across the bridge and, whoa, I'm going to fall. And then one of the mates gets too daring and he falls off the bridge and he dies. So I'm connecting that with something here, possibly. So let's try and put this all together, right? Because the picture it could be painting is look at the let's go right back. Look at the trying to backtrack through my notes. Look at the Peterbilt emblem. I've kind of discussed that really. The Playboy magazine regarding Burt Reynolds, you know, you have death and starting over. So the death or civilization, the Cullen starting over, dressed in black, right? Then you have let's move that. Then you have the the pills, which are used as a kind of a, well, hypnotic and sedative sleeping pills, but they were used for escapism in sex and just party lifestyle, right? So this is self-inflicted to by the masses as a form of kind of escapism from reality, right? And then you have the Saturday Night Fever movie where these people they're almost want to escape kind of reality in a strange way. It's the idea they have dreams and they want to be someone, but I think within that film, within that kind of party lifestyle it's promoting, there's a type of there's a regressiveness to people where people are regressing. I'm sure I mentioned it on a few of my videos. I talk about progression and regression into like a childlike state of being, mentality, and if that regression goes deep enough, you have the desire to regress into the death instinct mode, and I mentioned Michael Desorin. He goes really, really deep into that. Thanatos instinct, kind of death instinct, and it's a very powerful pull. That's, he believes, and I believe, that is very present within society and the human psyche right now. It's that these people, certain types of people, and Thomas Sheridan mentioned it in his video. They really do want to end it. They want to cross that bridge and not come back in. They want to die, and this is very subconscious. And so, what with the needlecraft, I think a lot of people, Thomas Sheridan and others were saying, is that they wanted to end it. So consciously, they won't know why they did this, but subconsciously, they were motivated by this death instinct to end themselves. And I think the disco biscuits connect to that, and the desire for self-medication in a recreational way, and the party lifestyle of that movie. They reflect that, and the guy just ending his life by just topping it off the bridge carelessly, And with that, the apocalypse. Really, we are going through an apocalypse now. No pun intended. Well, yeah, it is really, because one way of looking at it is the final destruction of the modern world. I mean, this boat that we've been sailing and can't float forever, and it has to sink. What with this degeneration that the world seems to be facing, it just seems like it's a part of a natural cycle. I don't think there's anything unnatural about it, but we're going through this cycle, and you can't have birth of new creativity without destruction. So we're going through a destructive cycle right now. So this, the word apocalyptic is very relevant, I think. And yeah, and certainly with the character Gary Gilmore, the real life, this is real life character who not only was he sentenced to death, but he demanded his own execution, so he wanted to die. Again, there's a connection there, quite an important one. And connecting that all up, yeah, I do wonder whoever designed these stones and erected them, they must, by the looks of it, it wouldn't surprise me if they understood that. I mean, are they erected by the powers, the elite, who have been, looking at the human condition and have been, looking at psychology and other methods, and have predicted this is the way the human race is going, so there has to be a call. But I'll have to look at the writings on the Guidestones, because it says that they want to keep the population within natural balance, right? So if that's the case, maybe they believe nature will do its thing, and there's going to be a natural decline and a cull within humanity, or they're going to have to use other methods. But the message that I picked up just now was that this is seems to be a natural process. On a mass scale, human beings seem to be hurtling towards their own self-destruction. That's the message that I kind of jumbled together with all this. It could be nonsense, like I could be trying to make something out of nothing, But if it is genuine, this time capsule, and is I'd say it probably is, then maybe that's made some sense of it. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that one. This was kind of like a spur of the moment thing, but I kind of enjoyed kind of researching and trying to kind of piece together some kind of message. Yeah, anyway, leave some comments if you like. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again soon. Cheers, bye.